And we're back.
Woo!
We're gonna keep building this thingy, although not entirely, because remember how I said I needed wood?
Yep.
And I went by Menards, and I got the wrong wood. So I'm gonna have to go back to Menards. Yep. In my defense, I haven't looked at the plans in a while, and I didn't bother checking. But these are good to go. These are the posts. No, there's four posts, and then they have these cross things. There's gonna be, if you remember the plan, I'll put a picture up, maybe. There's four posts, and then there's kind of a frame around the middle, frame around the top, and then, you know, floor, and there's some stuff underneath that I showed you. But we're gonna do the front and back wall. It's not like four posts with rings. It's actually a front thing with the two legs, the back thing with the two legs, and then the side things connect those. So it's doing it in stages.
Okay.
And that's gonna be these, and then these are the side things, and these are the wrong wood that I didn't want to use. We'll give you a tour of this corner of the basement. You haven't seen this before. This is a basement. The previous owner blamed this on his kids. The current owner, I'm going to blame this crayon on my kids, one in particular.
Yes.
Which is why we're not terribly concerned about this.
It'll be covered up.
It'll be covered up. Yeah, we're not going to repaint it, because if we do, it just gives him a new canvas.
This is like the opposite corner of where his desk is.
Yeah, and I'm not too concerned either about the carpet, because there's a flood over where you can't see it, and a lot of it's just tore up. I also don't want to finish this off super neat, because I would like to be able to take it down, remove it, get it out of here when we do rip the carpet up, and then bring it back, stick it up. I know she's expressed concerns that bare wood is kind of ugly, and wants to paint it.
Well, it's more like I don't want splinters, you know?
Yeah, well,
the kids are not, I'm not going to have kids who wear shoes.
I would like to cover it up.
Okay.
But details.
Yes.
Figure it out later.
That's not important.
So, because I couldn't get 4x4s that weren't pressure treated, I'm going to double up 2x4s. This is the way I built a loft when I was in college.
I remember.
She remembers. We met in college, just for the record. So double up the 2x4s, and then everything bolts onto like more 2x4s, and then I just cover it up with these nice looking panels. Although I didn't do that part in college. I just left it ugly, nasty 2x4s. And yes, there were splinters.
Oh, there was one that went into my arm. That was painful.
Yeah, she made the mistake of reaching and sliding her arm across to grab something. Bad idea. So one thing that you might notice if you go get 2x4s at a store, I went to Menards, very few of them are straight, and some of them look like they went through a wood chipper a couple of times on the way to the store. So we're going to take and sort these out. I just have them leaning in 4 pairs. We're going to sort them out into the pairs that we actually want, because some of them are bowed, some of them have chunks missing, and I would like, if possible, to match a bow with a bow. I should probably be close enough so you can see. Okay, pretend my hands are 2x4s. If they're bowed like this, I want to put 2 like this, and then screw them together to cancel out the bow. If they were like this, and you put them together, well then now your final one's still bowed. But you can kind of cancel it out if you match them like that, which will be nice. Also, any of the corners that are a bit gross can be placed against the wall. Focus. Here's what I mean by one of the ugly bits. See, pretty gross. Doesn't look very good, but if I put that on the inside of 2 mashed together, or if I just angle it like toward the wall, we don't have to worry about it. You know, and this is kind of true of all 2x4s. They all have a little bit of bend to them. This one's actually pretty straight, all things considered. But if you listen to the advertisements, the motto of Menards is save big money, not buy good products. So this is what we got. I mean, they're only like 2x4s. They're like a couple bucks. You don't question it when you're saving big money.
Are you really saving big money, though?
No, you're not. That's a lie. Marketing. It's not lies. It just isn't true. That's what I've heard.
Well, they did talk about 11% off, but that's like rebate. So you have to make the
and not all the
effort
time.
to do the rebate.
So these are both not too bad. This should be an interface. What do you think?
Yep.
Point that inward.
Yep.
So this can be a good pair. Positioned like that. Yeah, a good way to see what they're doing as far as bowing is to actually look down the end. Not look at it from the side, but look straight down. You can see this one is bowing that way, this one's bowing this way, and this one has big chunks missing out of it.
This side looks better.
This side looks better, so we're gonna flip it. Ooh, this has got a big split in it. I did not grab a good 2x4 there. Okay, so first order of business, we gotta screw these together and then lay them out. Could use you to stand on the end of this board. Because one thing I also failed to mention, not just bowing, but these boards are, one of them's warped pretty bad. All right? And this might look to you, some of you like a brand new drill, and that's because it is. It's just like my last drill, except my last drill got dropped into a bucket of stuff I was mixing, which included powdered sand. And I'll tell you, that really screws these up.
Who knew? Powdered sand.
Knots, the wood around knots tends to be a little stronger, and because the grain isn't all going in one direction, it's much less apt to split. Also, pre-drill holes, which I'm not doing because of laziness.
Is that one warped too?
This one's not too bad. You know, being this up close to the carpet, I can kind of see little bits of Play-Doh here and there. That's a problem.
Yeah, they're pretty stuck in there though. Not too concerned.
Not when like a third of the basement's carpet got all soggy a bunch of times.
Yep.
Okay, and now the fun part. It's going to be laying this out. So these are 4 feet wide, and the design has them going flush on the outsides. So what I'm going to do, kind of line them up pretty flush. Then I'm going to put one screw in the middle of this board where it lines up with the middle of that board. And that way I can pivot the legs around those screws, do my measuring, put the next one down, screw it in, get it square, which is even on diagonals. I'll show you when I get to that point. And then put in a couple more screws to lock it from racking back and forth. Does that make sense? My wife wasn't listening to me, but she's nodding. So just like normal.
What?
And I do prefer using these corded drills, not those cordless ones you see. The cordless ones are nice, but they really just don't have the juice. With the corded ones, if something gets stuck or gets kind of hard, the thing will just shut off and the batteries keep dying. But with these corded ones, you just like, you know, you just like crank on it and just until it breaks your wrist or the bit. I've broken bits before. I've also broken screws. Okay, for this next part, it's a little more vital that I get it right because this is actually going to be lined up. The top of this is going to be lined up with the top, or like the floor inside the thing. So I'm actually standing down. We're going to get this together and then lift it up against the wall, and this will be the back 2 legs. So the top of this has to be 4 feet from the back of there.
Okay. Do you guys want me to mark it?
Dang it. No, I don't. Well prepared. We're well prepared. All right, and the top here, this is 48 inches up, so it's 4 feet. That'll give the kids room above and room below. It's also about the right height for that slide that I got. You know, and speaking of splinters, it might not be a bad idea to, once I get it all assembled and get it kind of so everything works, take it outside and just hit it with the random orbit sander. But I'm not sure my neighbors would appreciate me doing that at like 1 in the morning. Good old soft wood, not likely to split. So these are pine, but I think these are just generic 2x4s, which aren't always made of the same kind of wood. Like this grain doesn't look like pine to me. This is definitely pine. This might be spruce for all I know. It definitely splits more easily. And interestingly enough, I used to make archery stuff and spruce arrow shafts, which I really liked, Sitka spruce arrow shafts. If you were to make them from like a board yourself, they actually recommended some people that you split them into like little square dowels. And spruce would split so nicely like that you could actually get straight square dowels, which was kind of crazy. Of course, I never made them. I always bought the dowels because like life's too short to be splitting tiny pieces of wood that are 3 feet long. Okay, so right now I got that in place, but this whole thing can twist back and forth like this. And the way you figure out if it's square is you measure from corner to corner, take that measurement, and that corner to corner. And if they're off, you adjust it until they match, and then it's pretty much square. Near enough anyway. So I'm going to need help from my lovely assistant here. hold it on the corner. We have 96 3/4.
96 3/4.
We're gonna go other corner. 96 1/2.
Close.
So we're pretty close. We need to lengthen that a little bit. So we're aiming, so split the difference, 96 1/2, 96 3/4. The difference is 96 5/8. That's right in the middle. So hold it there. I'm just gonna adjust until we hit 96 5/8. And there. So let's double check. You know, adjusting something this big by 1/8 of an inch is kind of like splitting hairs, isn't it? All right, so that's perfect. 96 5/8.
Now you gotta pick this up?
Nope.
No?
Now I put some screws in
Oh.
to stop it from twisting. I mean, until we get the other stuff and the other bracing and stuff put on, it's liable to twist on us again. I ran out of screws in that box. What gives?
I know.
Well, anyway, time for close-up. One screw in the middle there, if you think of the one screw only as like a fulcrum, right? If you just have the one screw in each one, they can all swing wildly, you know, woo, 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 and go out around. So I put those in and then got it squared up and put in extra 3 screws. So now if it tries to pivot around that middle screw, those other 2 are going to stop it. And it's not only at this joint, it's at all the joints. Even without like the diagonal cross bracing, even without that, it's still not going to want to twist very well. I mean, there are limits, obviously, because the farther apart those screws are, the stronger they would be, and if you had cross bracing, it would be like invincible, right? This piece here and that piece there, they're more or less just holding it in place until I get it up against the wall, because there's a lot more to it that's going to be strengthening it considerably. However, the one that I built in college, the loft I built for myself, I actually built so that these structural pieces were sitting on top of 2x4s that were bolted to there. It was a little bit overbuilt. Probably could have parked a truck on it. And I only used it for 1 year, which was kind of a bummer. But, you know, I did end up graduating and leaving. And that's kind of the point, right? I'm going to test. So this is suspended up, and this is only a 1x6. Good to know it's strong enough to support me. One board is strong enough to support me. And there's going to be like 20 of these things supporting a child that's much lighter than I am. And it's not even going to be supporting on one of these. It's going to be like 2x4s that are hidden underneath these. You don't necessarily want things to be too underbuilt, you know, if they're kids. But you also don't want everything to be exposed 2x4s, because those are butt ugly. Not that this is going to be attractive to begin with. Story of my life, right?